We start with the medical update, as it were. How is the squad looking fitness-wise this week?
No bad news this week. Players continue to get fitter. The squad for the Grimsby game is the same as for the Wycombe game last week. So Troy and Tilson and Harley not back yet. But the good news is that likes of Wheeler, Holmes are becoming more and more fit. So it's gradually returning, I think.
And even though those players are out, your defensive players are out, you do at least have the opportunity for another consistent kind of back four, which is what you were craving for. If you can't get your best players out, at least get the same players out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point is about having strength in depth. So you of course, you must be careful that you keep telling our back four that there's better players missing. It's not, it's not necessarily conducive for encouraging your players. I think the point being is that we'd worked with a set back four through the whole of pre-season, and now go back 3 or 4 weeks, we have to start again. So I'd like to think within 4 to 5 weeks you start to see some coherence and some cohesion and symmetry within that back four. So nice to have had 3 or 4 weeks working with the likes of Luke Kroll alongside Woodman and Jordan Taylor and Pierce Sweeney and etc. So they've had now probably 3 or 4 weeks working together, which is I think beginning to show signs of strengthening and them gaining some confidence with each other.
How much pressure is there on this game? We know the home record, it's not that great to say the least, and it's a game at home, so to speak. Do you feel a bit more pressure under this game, bearing in mind the record going into it, than maybe an ordinary home game, if there's such a thing?
Yeah, I'm not in denial. I'm concerned as a professional person in a profession where our league position, and let's be honest, you get judged where you are in the league. No matter what's going on behind the scenes, you get judged on where you are in the league, and we're not in a great position, and largely because of our home form is been poor this year. So the pressure's on us as a professional person every single game. But then added to that, of course, and again, like I said, I'm not in denial. The home form has meant that we need to break that trend. We need a win at home. We need to get off and running. So, I think everyone's well aware here at the Clearfield Training Ground. Everyone's well aware this week, how important this is. So, let's be honest. It's not just been the last 6 weeks.
No,
it's been grown over the last 2 or 3 years. This trend. So, it's certainly not a new issue for us, and we're doing everything we can to be ready and do what we can do. We can't control the opposition. No. We can't control the referees' decisions. We can't control the weather. We can't control what our supporters think. All we can do is believe in each other. And I have to say, I've never had a more committed, positive bunch of players in my 10 or so years here.
And I guess looking at the fixture list, I think 5 of the next 7 in all competitions are at St James Park, so it gives you many opportunities to get that monkey off your back, for want of a better term, and of course on the other hand go on a run where if you can get 2 or 3 wins together, the whole feeling changes, doesn't it? It's
early days, and that doesn't mean that I'm dismissive of where we are. It is early days and things can change very quickly, and that offers us some light at the end of the tunnel. So I know we've got a good group of players. Let's be frank, regardless of the past 2 or 3 years' form not being as good at home, there's no doubt that it's been affected this year by the injuries we've had, and they're coming back, and we're gradually getting some strength. But we've had Troy and Tilson, etc., and Holmes and Wheeler. We've had too many players to miss, and that's returning now. That doesn't help much. It's the fact. We've had now enough opportunities, but we're on to the next. The next game is Saturday against Grimsby. I
was looking at the stats, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think under your tenure as manager at Exeter City, you've only played Grimsby twice, which I think was in 08-09, and a couple of draws there. So are they one of the few sides that you've never had a win over at this kind of level, do you think?
Well, you just told me, so
I wondered if you had any memories of
one of the few teams I'm not lost against either.
Oh, exactly, yes.
I remember the away game.
It was a 2-2, I think.
It was Marcus Stewart scored a brilliant goal, and I think Ryan Harley scored a late equaliser. He came off the bench and scored a late equaliser, but it was a 2-2 draw, and we drove through the snow to get up there. It was one of those long trips with bad weather, and it was a really good sort of gritty game with a late goal in our favour, coming back to draw the game. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, lots changed.
Yeah. Let's not too many stats there to draw on.
Nonetheless, you get a couple of goals and maybe not concede as many, and you'd be very happy with that, wouldn't you?
Yes, please.